Good evening, students. So in the last class, we have completed this types of reflection, I guess. And we had seen all about the laws of reflection and types of reflection we have done. Okay. So now we are going to see the image formation. Okay. How the images will be formed, how the image is formed using the plane mirror and circular spherical mirrors. Okay. So first let me introduce the plane mirror. We'll see the image formation from the image formation from the plane mirror. Okay, and then we will start with the spherical mirrors. Okay, now, so in last class we have seen the laws of reflection. Okay, so now we are going to see plane mirrors. Okay, plane mirrors. Okay, so what is this plane mirror actually? If you see, so the mirror that you have at your house in which you see your image, okay, the normal mirror whatever we are having will be is called as plane mirror. Okay, it's called as plane mirror. Okay, we have to draw the image using that. We have to draw the image using that. Okay, we have to draw the images using that. So how the image is formed, how your image is formed when you stand in front of the mirror, so that we are going to actually see. Okay, so for that, suppose we have a mirror. Okay, suppose if we have a mirror. Okay, no, we are actually going to see the lateral this ray diagram. We are going to see the ray diagram actually here. Okay, we are going to see the ray diagram. It will be literally inverted and all. Okay, but we are going to see the ray diagram. How will you draw the ray diagram? And the ray diagram, whatever points, if I tell you that this is important, this is important. So in 10th board you will be having, okay, so many questions from light, and same chapter light is there in class 12. Okay, so in board that is also very important. Okay, if you go for NEET or JEE, again that's a very important chapter. Okay, but when you draw certain things in board, okay, so it has to be drawn with the proper way. Okay, so with whatever I instruct you that you should do like that, you should do like this, you have to follow that. Okay, otherwise what will happen, the examiner will cut your marks. Okay, or your marks will depend upon his mercy, which you don't want to. Okay, which you obviously don't want. Understand? So whatever I tell you that you have to do it like this, you have to do it like that while drawing the diagram. Okay, so you should follow that. Okay, now suppose this is a mirror, and this these lines what I'm drawing, this means the polished surface. Okay, this means the polished surface. Now the reflection will happen on from this side. The reflection will happen from this side. From this side, no reflection will happen. Okay, so what does this means? Okay, this is a mirror now. Okay, suppose you are standing in front of the mirror. Suppose you are standing in front of the mirror. Okay, suppose you are standing in front of the mirror. Okay, now you tell me how many rays will come out of you and fall on mirror. How many rays will come from you and fall on mirror? Can you count them? No, infinite. You will, it will be infinite number of rays. It will be infinite number of rays. Okay, so if it is infinite number of rays, so for all the rays I cannot draw. For all the rays I cannot draw the reflection. Okay, so what I will do, what I'll do to draw the ray diagram, I'm writing. Okay, so to draw the ray diagram. Okay, to draw the ray diagram, to draw the ray diagram. Okay, we can take so many or plenty. Okay, plenty of rays, no matter how much large that quantity must. But but minimum of 2 is required. Minimum of 2 is required. Okay, minimum of 2 is required. Okay, and maximum as per your wish, okay. So like that we can draw the ray diagram. Let us start drawing the ray diagram. So I will take the minimum and will draw with that. Okay, unnecessary, will not waste our time. Okay, and you should also not take so many rays in the exam and draw. Okay, minimum 2 error, more than enough. Okay, every diagram with 2 rays will be drawn. Okay, so what you will do, suppose this is your height AB. Okay, this is from top to bottom. I have called the topmost point of on your body and the bottommost point on your body as A and B. Now I'll try to draw the ray from your point A. Okay, I'll try to draw the ray from your point A. So now just see the ray which falls on the mirror perpendicular. The ray which falls on the mirror perpendicular, how it will be forming, how it will be after reflection, where it will go, after reflection, where it will go. Can I say after reflection, it is going to follow the same path? Okay, it will retrace its own path. Will it retrace its own path? Yes. Yes, it will retrace its own path. Fine. The another ray which falls on this point, and makes an angle theta, suppose, makes an angle I, suppose. Okay, makes an angle I, suppose. Okay, now how the reflection will happen here now? Will it go like this? After reflection, will it follow like that? Because I has to be equal to R. Yes or no? I has to be equal to R. Angle I, using laws of reflection, angle I must be equal to angle R. Correct? Now, these are the two incident and reflected rays. Okay. Now again, I'm going to write one more point. Okay. So these are the rays coming out of the object. How will you obtain image? So just see, I'm writing that point and then I will do that. Okay. So what you have to do now, retrace, okay, or extend. Okay. Better we write extend reflected ray in backward direction. Extend reflected ray in backward direction. We are supposed to extend the reflected ray in backward direction. Okay. The point of intersection of two extended rays would give us image of that point on object. Okay, so what I'm trying to say, we have to extend the reflected ray in backward direction. So just see the two reflected rays. Okay, and now I'm going to extend them in backward direction. So I'm extending them in backward directions like this, as well as like this. I have extended them, no problem. Then what it is saying, the point of intersection of two extended rays would give us the image of that point of object. Okay. Okay. So that the point of intersection, this is the point of intersection. So the point of intersection will give you the image of the point on the object. So which point, from where did you started the image? From point A. So this intersection point will be the image of what? A. So if I draw for this point, okay. Angle R will be here only. Angle R will be here only for this ray. Angle R will be here only for this ray. Okay. Angle R will not change. Angle R will be that only. Okay. The angle between the normal and the reflected ray will be the same. Okay. It will not change. So this is the point of the, this is the image of the point A. So if this is the image of the point A, if I take a point on this in between, so where will the image be formed? Somewhere here. If I draw a image of this, so it will be somewhere here. Okay. So you get a image like this. Now you are getting an image like this. Understood? A and B. So there are certain properties of this. There are certain properties of this. What are the properties? The height of object. Okay. The height of object. The height of object HO. Okay. And the height of the image HI. Can you tell me the relation? HO and HI, what will be the relation? They will be equal. Very good. They will be equal. The height of object will be equal to the height of the image. Suppose if I take this distance, suppose as U, and if I take this distance as V, if I take this distance U and one distance as V, so U is a distance of object from mirror and V is the distance of image from the mirror. So what can you say about U and V? Will they be equal? Will they be equal? Yes, good. So these are the two important points that you have to remember, that the height of the object is equal to the height of the image formed by the plane mirror, first point. Second point, the image, the distance between the object and the mirror and the distance between the mirror and the image will always be same. Is it okay? Understood? Fine. So these are the two important points that you have to remember while making any kind of image, that you have to draw two rays. You have to draw the two rays, minimum two rays you have to use. With one ray you cannot draw the image. Okay, minimum two rays you have to take, and we will take generally two rays only. Okay, don't take 3 or 4 rays, that is wastage of our time. Okay, and what is the procedure of getting the image? You have to extend the reflected ray. Okay, you have to extend the reflected ray only, and wherever actually you have to get the intersection of the reflected ray. Actually the main point is that you don't have to extend always. You don't have to always extend. Understood? You don't have to always extend only. Suppose this ray would have bent, would have reflected such that they are meeting on the side of the object. Suppose these two rays, suppose this was the reflected ray 1 and this was the reflected ray 2. Now I can see that in this direction they cannot meet. In this direction they will not meet. Never they can meet. So I have to find out their intersection. The main point is you have to find out the intersection. Wait, I'm telling you for that doubt. Okay, wait for that. The intersection only we have to check. Okay, so you have to obtain the intersection point. Wherever will be the intersection point. Okay, that point will be the image. That point will be the only the image point. Okay, if you're not getting in this direction, extend in this direction to get the image. Okay, if you are getting in this direction, you don't have to extend it. Suppose you don't have to extend this. Understood? So in which case you don't have to extend, we will also see that. Okay, we will also see that also. Okay, now, so why don't materials like wood don't form image? Okay, materials like wood don't form image. They form image, we are not able to see that. Okay, it's not like there will not be any reflection from them. There will be a reflection from them, but we are not able to see that. Okay, if you keep them, okay, if you make a light to fall on them, so what will happen? They will also reflect the light. Okay, it's not like they will not reflect the light. They will also reflect the light. The only problem is the energy reflected is very less. the energy reflected is very less, so you will be not able to see the image properly. Okay. Okay. I had told you in the first class itself that every body will reflect. Okay. Every body has very less, but still it will be having a degree of reflection from it. Okay. Very less, no doubt. Some bodies will have a good reflection, some bodies will have a bad reflection, but every body will reflect a small quantity, at least a small quantity, at least a very small one ray, whatever it is, but definitely they will reflect the light. Okay. Okay. So the next topic is the formation of image. We have seen the formation of image using plane mirror. We have seen. Okay. Now, if I give you the objects, okay, whose image you have to draw, so I guess you can do that. Okay. So this will be the ray diagram. Now, the important points in this, the important things that you have to remember while drawing. Okay. First of all, you will use sharp pencil, not pen, sharp pencil to draw the figure. Sharp pencil to draw the figure. Understood? Sharp pencil to draw the figure. First thing. Second thing, no rough diagram is allowed in the board. No rough diagram is allowed in the board. Okay. If they say that draw the image of the body, okay, forming image with the plane mirror. So you cannot draw rough diagram with the pencil. Okay. You have to draw proper diagram, proper rays with the scale and pencil. Okay. Second thing. Okay. The third thing is that every ray should have a arrow on it. Every ray should have an arrow on it, which shows that in which direction the ray is coming and in which direction after reflection or before reflection the ray is coming. Understood? From which direction the incident ray is coming, that arrow can show, and after reflection what is happening to that ray, that must be also be shown. Okay. So there are 3 points you should remember for the board. Draw the diagram with the sharp pencil. No rough diagrams should be drawn. And the third thing is that on every incident and reflected ray, there must be arrow. Okay. Without the direction, okay, examiner may reduce your marks. Okay. Is that clear? Yeah, fine. Even the most blackest material in the world. Yeah, yeah. And I don't know how many of you would be using that. Girls are using in their eyes. Okay, that black color. I don't remember the name. Okay, that is also the blackest material. Okay, that has it is having a reflectivity, a partial reflectivity. Okay, so there is no material which is having a zero reflectivity. Every material will have a reflectivity. Okay, zero reflectivity is just a concept. Practically, such materials does not exist. Okay. Now, the next topic is spherical mirrors. And what topic we are going to see? Okay. What topic we are going to see now is a very, very important topic. Spherical mirrors. Spherical mirrors. These are very important topics. Okay. This is a very important topic. So let us start with the basic of it. Let us start with its basic. Okay. Now, suppose, first of all, we will start how it is made. First of all, we will study how is it made. Okay. So suppose this is a sphere. Okay. Hollow sphere. We have a hollow sphere in front of us. Okay. We have a hollow sphere in front of us. Okay. Now, what we are going to do now, we are going to cut it. Hollow sphere, we are going to cut it. I am going to cut it like this, and I'm going to cut this from here. From two sides, I'm going to cut, and I'm going to separate it. I'm going to separate it. Okay. So I'm cutting it from here, as well as I'm cutting it from here. Okay. I guess everybody is a good understanding. Now I'm removing this portion. Okay, because I want only these two parts. I want only these two parts. Okay. Now what you will do? You will just remove this one, and you will just remove this. Now, if I shade this portion, just see here. If I shade this portion, okay, and if I shade this portion, are you understanding? If I shade this portion over here, okay, and if I shade this portion over here, is it okay? So now what you are getting two mirrors. You will be getting two mirrors. Okay. So this mirror over here will have a reflecting surface this side. This is its reflecting surface. This black color is its reflecting surface. Understood? On this mirror, this is the reflecting surface. This is the reflecting surface. This is the reflecting surface. Is it okay? So now this is the way how we get the reflecting mirrors. Okay, spherical mirrors. These are the spherical mirrors how we get. Okay, I hope everybody has understood this. If anybody is having any doubt, you just tell me now itself. Because that imagining that sphere is very important. Imagining that sphere is very, very important. Okay. Imagining that sphere is very, very important. If you have not understood, I am ready to explain it once again. But imagining that sphere is very, very important, of which it was a part. Okay, this was its center, that is sphere's center. So if anybody is having any doubt, just let me know. I'm ready to explain again. Yes? Shall I move ahead? Okay. Now, so these are the two mirrors now. These are the two mirrors now. Okay. These are the two mirrors now. Okay. I'm just showing that which portion will not be reflecting. Okay. I'm just showing you like in plane mirror. This was the surface which was reflecting. Okay. Oh, sorry. This was the plane surface which was not reflecting. So the reflection, the incident ray should come from this. Okay. The incident ray should come from this. The incident ray should come from this side. Understood? In this case, the reflected ray should come from this side. In this ray, the reflection ray should come from this side. Okay? Is it okay? Prasanna, which doubt you had asked? The light entering to a black hole has no reflection. Any other doubt if you have, you can ask. I'm not teaching here astrophysics. Okay. Now, you see here, this mirror is called as this one. This one over here. This one over here is called as concave mirror. This one over here is called as concave mirror. Okay. Concave mirror. Understood? And the one on the right left hand side is called as convex mirror. Convex mirror. The one on the left hand side is called as convex mirror, and the one on the right hand side is called as concave mirror. If you have any doubt in like how to remember the names, okay, so just see this word. Just see this word. Okay. Just see this word over here. Cave. Okay. Is it looking like a cave like a structure? So that mirror will be like a concave, cave like structure. So that will be concave, and the another one will be like a convex. Okay, the one which will reflect, the one which will reflect the light, the one which will reflect the light will be called as concave. Okay, and the one which will not reflect the light, the one which will not reflect the light will be called as convex. Is it okay? Yes. Is it okay now? Is there anyone who is having doubt in this? Yes, what is the doubt? What is the doubt? Sir, wait. Convex will not reflect light. It will reflect. Convex, convex will also reflect. Convex will also reflect. Concave will also reflect. Sir, by polishing a surface, can we get a plane mirror? By polishing a surface, which kind of surface? You have to be specific. Then only I can reply to that answer. Can you explain once again how to identify concave and convex? Okay, I'll explain you once again. Sir, if full sphere is, if a full sphere is convex. No, you don't decide with that. You don't decide with that. Okay, because if you take a full sphere and if you don't paint it, okay, so you don't know from where it will be entering. Okay, so what will happen, it will go inside. Okay, if you suppose one side, if you can imagine a sphere, so from one side the light will come, and if you have not painted it, the light will pass through it. From a glass I'm talking. Okay, I'll explain you how to identify convex and concave, don't worry. How are images formed, I'll explain you. Wait. Okay, just see here. What is the structure of a cave? Can you remember? Okay, the structure of a cave. Okay, I hope all of you can visualize the structure of a cave. Okay, yes or no? A cave. So is it looking like a cave? Yes, the reflected surface, the reflecting surface is this. Is it looking like a cave? Okay, so that will be called as a concave. The other one will be obviously the other one convex. So this is the way how you can remember it. You will never forget like this. Okay, otherwise you will be having a problem that which one is convex and which one is concave. Okay, so it should be like that. Now after this we have to study small terms into this, very small terminologies in this. Okay, so which are very important, without which we cannot proceed further. So terms now. Okay, important terms now we are going to see. Yes, pole, center of curvature, radius of curvature, focus, all those things we are going to see now. Okay, now, so one thing you have to remember, that these two mirrors were the part of what? Hollow sphere. These two mirrors, these two spherical mirrors. Okay, you have to remember this line which I am going to write. These are part of these are part of hollow spherical mirrors. Hollow spherical mirror. Hollow sphere. Okay, hollow sphere. Hollow sphere. Hollow sphere. Okay, these are the part of hollow sphere. This point you have to understand. You have to keep in mind, and then we will start the important terms. Okay, so the first important point is okay, pole. Okay, the first important point is pole. What is pole? Okay, so for that I'm copying these two figures. Okay, So what is pole now? So pole is the middle part of the mirror. Pole is the middle part of the mirror. So for this mirror, if you see, okay, for this mirror, if you consider, okay, for this mirror, if you consider, so the pole is here. The pole is this part. Okay, the pole is this part. And for this, the another one, another one, it will be on this. So these are the 2 points, okay, which will be called as the pole of the mirrors. These are the points which will be called as pole of the mirrors. Okay. I hope you have understood this. So these are the poles of the mirror now. So I'm calling them as P and P because they are denoted. Okay. When you draw the figure, so these points are denoted by P. P represents pole. P represents the pole. Okay. I hope you have understood this point. Okay. Now, the next point is center of curvature. The next point is center of curvature. Okay. Center of curvature. Is it okay? Now, I have told you that you have to remember one line, that these are part of hollow sphere. Now we will use that. We will use that. Okay. So if you see here, so what did I say? That these are the parts of a hollow sphere. Okay. These are the parts of hollow sphere. So suppose I will try to recreate that sphere. If I try to recreate that sphere, so it was somewhat like this. So the center of the sphere, can you imagine the center of that sphere? So if you draw that sphere, if I draw that figures again, okay, if I draw that figures again, so this curved line, this curved structure, will have a center of which it is a part. Okay, of which it is a part. Okay, this is also a structure. Okay, so center of curvature will be that point of the sphere. Okay, the center of the sphere of which our mirror is a part. Okay, so I'm writing that definition over here. Just see, I'll write the definition over here, that center of curvature is the point. Okay, center of curvature is the point. So in short, I'm writing center of curvature, COC. Okay, COC, center of curvature. Okay, center of curvature is a point, is the center point, is the center point of sphere, of glass sphere, of which our mirror is a part. Okay, so we have our mirror that is drawn in front of you. So center of curvature is a center point of a glass sphere of which our mirror is a part. So our mirror is a part of a glass sphere. So glass sphere's center. Okay, our mirror is a part of a sphere, and for that sphere, what is the center point? So that center point will be called as what? Center of curvature. That point will be called as center of curvature. So if I try to draw it, so somewhere here you will be having center of curvature for this. Somewhere here you will be having a center of curvature for this now. Okay, so actually I have drawn them like apart. Okay, so but when you draw the sphere, so these 2 points will coincide. Okay, these 2 points will actually coincide. Is it okay? So I'm drawing it here now. So this is the center of curvature. So here it was my pole, this is my pole, this is my center of curvature. So this I will represent by C. This I will represent by the line C. Okay. Now, next is radius of curvature. The next is radius of curvature. The third point is radius of curvature. Radius of curvature. Okay. Now, what is the radius of curvature? The radius of the glass sphere of which our mirror is a part. Okay. Radius is that distance of a glass mirror, okay, of which our mirror is a part. So if I write it, okay, so how will I write? Radius of curvature. So ROC I'm writing. Okay. So ROC is the distance, or the radius is the radius of sphere of glass sphere okay, of glass sphere of which our mirror is a part. Our mirror is a part. Is it okay? So if I take this diagram, okay, if I take this diagram, okay, here. So actually I can say the distance, this distance will be called as this distance from CP, from C to P. From C to P, the distance will be called as radius of curvature. Okay. So this distance will be called as radius of curvature. This distance will be called as radius of curvature. Understood? This distance will be called as radius of curvature. Fine. Now, the fourth one is principal axis. 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 Sorry, not PLE, it should be PAL, principal axis. Okay. Principal axis. Okay. Now, what is principal axis? Suppose if I take that same diagram, okay. So if I mark the points, so whatever we have studied till now, so this was pole, this is center of curvature, okay. So the line passing through C and P, the line joining or the line passing through C and P, okay, this is an imaginary line. This is an imaginary line. So the imaginary line which passes through C and P, okay, is called as a center of is called as principal axis. So this line is called as principal axis. Principal axis. Okay. So the line passing through center of curvature to the pole, or the line joining center of curvature to the pole will be called as principal axis. Okay. Now, after this, so if I write about this, so what I can say, the line joining center of curvature, so COC I'm writing for center of curvature, and principal axis okay, will be called as principal axis, okay. Now the next important point is, sorry, line joining center of curvature and pole, and pole, not principal axis, and pole. Okay. The line joining center of curvature and pole is called as principal axis. Okay. The next important point is focus. The next important point is focus. So right now I'm not going to define what is this focus, because right now you will not understand focus in a better way. Right now you will not understand the focus in a better way. So I will explain the focus. I'll explain you this focus when we have studied the rules of what do you say, image formation. Okay, so I'm skipping that for now. And now I'm going to take the fifth and the last one, which is aperture, which is called as aperture. Okay, aperture. Okay, so if I take the same figure, okay, what is aperture here now? Okay, what is aperture here? So the linear aperture we have, linear aperture is the distance from one end to the other end, like this. So this distance will be called as linear aperture. This distance will be called as linear aperture. Okay, this distance will be called as linear aperture. Is it okay? This distance will be called as linear aperture. Linear aperture. Is that okay? This line will be called as linear aperture. Now, if I want to tell, though this is not generally given in the books, okay, but I'm telling you this, what is angular aperture? What is angular aperture? So you have, what you have to do, you have to just join these two lines, okay? Just join these two lines, okay, with the center of curvature and this angle, okay, this angle. This angle will be called as angular aperture. Angular aperture. Okay, this angle, the angle will be called as angular aperture. I hope you have understood this. Yes, angular aperture is the angle. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? Now the important terms are completed. Now the important terms are completed. You can ask your doubts now. Put so many messages. Sir, how do we know the center of curvature of a parabola? See, parabola is actually the combination of circles with a different radius. Okay, parabola is a structure which has a different radius. Okay, so for a parabola, for a complete parabola, you will not have a particular center. Okay, so in mathematics, in higher studies, you will see that parabola is actually a combination of circles, okay, with the different centers or different radius. So that is parabola. Okay, so for that, from every point, the type of reflection will be almost different. Okay, is it okay? So for parabola, it is very complex to, you will not, a parabola is a structure which has different radius. You cannot define that this part is having this structure, this radius, and this part is having the same radius. No, it is wrong. Okay, then sir, can we make a concave and convex mirror from a sphere which is not hollow? Which is not hollow, can we make it? Okay, so if it is a solid, so what will happen? It will be tough, dear. It will not be a mirror. It will be not a mirror. Okay, the reflecting surface. Okay, the reflecting surface will be the plane mirror then. Okay, you will have a structure like that. You will have a structure like that. Just see here. You will have a structure like this. Okay, this is called as a convexo plano mirror. Convex plano mirror. Okay, so these things you will study in class 12th. You can have this This will be the two surfaces from where it can reflect. Okay, actually this is not a mirror kind of thing. Okay, this is not a mirror. Okay, so the actual mirror will be this, because if you are painting it here, so the mirror will be this, not this one. Okay, so the combination will act as a plane mirror only, the because the reflection will happen here, the all the lights will go from here, the maximum number of lights will go from here. Okay, a very little reflection will happen from here, which will not be able to see. And if you paint it here, the major part what you will be able to take on the screen will be from this side. Okay, then center of curvature does not lie on the reflecting surface. Yes, center of curvature will not lie on the reflecting surface. Okay, distance between. Okay, what is the main difference between glass and mirror? Glass is a material, na? Glass is a material. Okay, glass is a material. Okay, like steel is a material, iron is a material, so that's the way the how glass is there. Okay, and mirror is a like a proper thing that like you can have a glass, that what do you say, container. Okay, beaker, you can have a glass. Okay, the material is glass, and what you have, the container. Okay, that's also a glass material, but the mirror is a different thing. Okay, the one which you see your face, that's a mirror. Okay, so glass and mirror are not same thing. They're actually, one is material and one is a byproduct of that. One is a material and one is a byproduct of that. Then yes, angular aperture is just a sector of the angle. Okay, angle you have to take, angle you have to take. A mirror consists of glass. A mirror always does not consist of a glass. A mirror does not always consist of a glass. Okay, mirror, that part which is painted will not, from there the actually the reflection takes place. Okay, so I guess all doubts I have answered. If anybody's doubt I have not answered, so can you please type it again? What is the difference between radius of curvature and principal axis? See, radius of curvature is actually the length. Okay, the distance. The distance is radius of curvature. Okay, this distance is radius of curvature. The distance. Okay, this is 2 meter. This is 3 meter. So that's the radius. Okay, the length is called, I'm calling as a radius of curvature. Okay, whereas principal axis will be the imaginary line. That's the imaginary line that you will draw, joining center of curvature to the pole. Okay, radius of curvature is actually the distance between center of curvature to the pole. Okay, that's a distance. You'll measure that in 2 meters. So if I ask you what is the radius of curvature for this, so it tells that it is 2 centimeter, it is 4 centimeter, it is 5 centimeter, it is 65 centimeter, like that. But principal axis is an imaginary line that we will draw, that is actually taken for our reference to draw the images. Okay, so just now if you see here, just now we had drawn. Okay, so what was this? This was my reference line. This was my reference line. So in the same way, while we are drawing the images in spherical mirrors, okay, we will draw a reference line. So that reference line we are calling as our principal axis. Okay. Application of aperture. This is to make the more light. If you widen it, if you increase the value of linear aperture, so what will happen? More light will come, and so you will have a better clarity in the image. Okay. Linear is because it is in length. Linear. Angle means angular. Aperture is the outermost dia. Outermost dia, you cannot say it like a dia. If I'm saying it is outermost dia, so it is not actually correct thing. Okay, So you can say that these two ends, okay, the distance between the two ends of the mirror is called as aperture, linear aperture. Okay. Mohana Krishnan. Are the laws of reflection applicable only on plane mirror or for all cases? Yes, that class. Were you absent in that class, Mona? All the cases, the laws of reflection will be valid. When we draw the images here, all the laws we will follow. Okay, while drawing it. Okay. Any other doubt you had? You are messaging like you will you are threatening me. Will you scroll up? Huh? Any other doubt, Mona? Yes. What is the relation between pole and aperture? Pole and aperture. There is no particular relation. There is no particular relation. Okay. Wait. Images formation we will take. Okay. 2 classes or 3 classes will go on reflection, image formation only. Don't worry about that. I cannot start today. It will be very lengthy. Okay. Today I will not start. Today I'll only doubt clarification. Okay. Application of aperture, I told you na, that if you increase the aperture, so what will happen? More light will come through the through it, and you will have a better clarity in the image. You will have a better clarity in the image. Okay. When I open the upper, when I widen the aperture, so what will happen? See here. Suppose if this is the aperture and this is the aperture. Okay. The two cases I'm taking. Now the light rays are coming like this. Light rays are coming like this, and light rays are here also. Same case. Okay. So this can capture less amount of light. This can capture more amount of light. So if this is capturing more amount of light, so the image clarity will be better. Okay. No problem. No problem. Water is also reflected and it's regular or it is kind of a irregular reflection. Okay. You cannot take it as a regular. Okay. It is a irregular reflection. Okay. Worksheet you will get in Learnity, dear. I will not give you. You will get in from Learnity. Okay. It will be shared with you in the group, I guess. In previous chapter, I gave you questions in infinite. Okay, you want me to explain that? Okay, okay. So first you do one thing, you take the screenshots of the slides, okay? And then I will explain you that question, okay? First you take the screenshot of those slides, then I will explain you that question, okay? So today we started from here. Infinite ladder problem I gave you in the previous class, okay? So after you take the slides, I'll give you the solution for that, okay? And any worksheets I will you'll get it from Learnity, okay? I'll again update in them that are you not getting the worksheet? You didn't get the worksheet or what? On current electricity, did you get worksheets? No. Okay. Okay, okay. Next class will be very important, okay? So don't forget to join the next class, because in next class I will tell you the rules for the formation of image. First we will see the rules. There are 4 rules, okay, following which we will draw the images, okay? First we have to see 4 rules, and then there are 6 cases. There are 6 cases in concave mirror and 2 cases in convex mirror. So So there are total 8 cases in your syllabus to study for the formation of image. But before those 8 cases, we have to see the rules. Okay. So next 2 classes or 3 classes will be very, very important. Okay. Next 2 or 3 classes will be very, very important. So just tell your friends also, okay, who are not here today, so that they don't miss the next class, because that will be very important and you will have our numericals on them only. Okay. Please show the first slide. Okay. Do it fast. I have to tell you a numerical also. Done? Okay. The person who had asked about that infinite ladder, are you still there? The student who had asked the infinite ladder problem, are you still there? Okay. So just see now. In the worksheet of current electricity, I must have given you one question. Okay. I must have given you one question on current electricity. Okay. So I don't know I don't remember the values. Okay. So, but the question would be somewhat like this. So this is 3, this is 2, again this is 3, this is 2, somewhat like this. Okay, it will go up to infinite. It would go up to infinite. Okay, fine. Now, so this is the case. Now you just tell me, if I add anything from infinite or if I subtract anything from infinite, the infinite will have no unchanged value. Yes or no? If I add anything in infinite or if I subtract anything from infinite, okay, so there will be no any change in the value. Correct? Fine. So what I'm doing now here is that for this complete portion, I'm only assuming the resistance value is R. I'm just assuming that the resistance for this complete portion is what? R. Okay. So now the circuit I can reduce the circuit like this. Okay. I can reduce this circuit like this. So this is R, this is 3, and this is 2. Is it okay? Now, if you can see this 2 and R, are they in series or are they in parallel? Are they in series or are they in parallel? They are in parallel. They are in parallel. Okay. So for them, I can write as this. For them, I can write 2R by 2 plus R. Can I write it like that? Can I write it like that? Now, these two are in series. So I can write it like this. Plus 3. Now, this is the equivalent resistance. So R equivalent resistance for this complete circuit, I can write it as 2R by 2 plus R. Now, again, you tell me, I had assumed this part as infinite series and I had written its resistance as R. Now, if I'm adding this portion, so from infinite series, if I'm adding anything, will this value be different from the value or will it be the same value? What I'm trying to say is that this complete portion, what I had assumed as the infinite series, this is having a resistance, some R resistance. Okay. So this is an infinite series, infinite combination of resistances. Now, in this combination, if I add a small thing, So this small thing is not going to affect the value of this, because infinite adding something is very less. Okay, it is not going to change. So this R equivalent is nothing but R only. This is the only important thing that you had to understand here. And now I guess you can solve it. Okay, now I guess you can solve it. Okay, so what you will do, you will get a quadratic equation. You'll get a quadratic equation from here. Okay, and you'll get two values. You'll get two values. So one value will be positive, one value will be negative. So negative value you discard, positive value will be the answer. Okay, fine. So next class, don't forget to join. Next class will be very important. Next 2 to 3 classes, we'll see the ray diagram, we'll solve numericals. Okay, from next 3 to 4 classes. Okay, thank you.